It took 250 Somali pirates and 30 speedboats to launch the biggest naval assault in modern history. They went up against a U.S. Navy fuel tanker carrying 8.2 million gallons of jet fuel. They fired RPG-7 rockets and heavy machine guns at point-blank range until the ship caught fire. But the pirates made one fatal mistake. What happened next? Would the Gulf of Aden become the largest graveyard in maritime history? Join us as we find out what happened after pirates swarmed a United States Navy tank. Middle of September in the year 2025 in the Gulf of Aden. Close to 3:30 in the morning, and Petty Officer James Rodriguez is staring at a radar screen inside the destroyer Laboon. His eyes adjust as he sees strange shapes pop up on the display. Way too many moving too fast. Boats used for fishing do not rush in at 40 knots. Something is wrong, and everyone knows it within a short moment. What he sees is a pack of 250 armed men rushing in on 30 fast boats. Their target is the supply ship Guadalupe. That tanker holds enough jet fuel to keep the Abraham Lincoln Strike Group operating for weeks. A prize like that would make any pirate rich beyond dreams. The shooting starts without warning. Small bursts from rifles, long streaks from rockets. Heavy guns from an older age beat against the sea. Tracers cut across the dark water. The people behind the attack are not amateurs out for luck. A Somali war chief named Khalid Qadar Abdul Rahman has spent years building this force. Ransom money fed into guns from faraway countries and ammunition from almost anywhere someone would sell it. His men know what they are doing. They have seen war before. Some fought in Al-Shabaab. They got pulled into this new fight with promises of power. Then a rocket slams into Guadalupe. Steel bends, and fire spreads quickly. Fuel lines are closed, and everyone on that ship understands how easy it would be for all that JP-5 fuel to turn into a blast felt across oceans. Crews in protective suits race to push back the flames. They barely win that fight with only seconds left. It is clear what is at stake. Lose this battle and one of the world's busiest sea routes could freeze for months. The captain of Laboon sees pirate boats racing in to grab hostages. He gives one order: weapons free. The pirates believed they had spotted a weak target far from any help. They were too confident for their own good. So how did the United States Navy flip a situation that looked hopeless into a victory so complete that nothing remained of the threat? At a little past 4 in the morning, the destroyer Laboon fires its big 50 caliber guns. Each one spits out hundreds of shots every minute. The bullets punch through thin wood like it is nothing. One pirate boat blows apart right away. Pieces fly across the water. Men fall in and do not come back up. A fuel barrel pops, and a ball of fire lights the sea. Cape St. George hears the call for help from a few miles away to the south. The cruiser rushes in fast. Her defense guns turn toward the attackers on the water. The spinning barrels shoot so many rounds that it feels like one long roar. These guns were made to stop fast missiles. Against small wooden boats, they are deadly. The pirates keep coming anyway. They have put everything into this. Close to 200 of them still race forward. Their leaders are fighters from old wars. They promise huge money if they take the tanker. The pirates fire back with machine guns and pistols from China and homemade bombs. So many shots that it is hard to count. Compared to some small countries, they shoot more in one fight than others train within 1 year. A rocket flies past Laboon's bridge. It misses by only a few feet. It hits water far away and goes off with a heavy boom. The blast breaks windows and sharp glass cuts 4 sailors. One woman keeps working even with metal stuck in her arm. Another rocket hits the front deck. 2 gunners get burned on their hands and faces. They stay at their guns and keep shooting. By a little after 5 in the morning, 9 pirate boats sink or burn. Many raiders are dead or hurt. The water smells like fuel and smoke. Broken boards and bodies float everywhere, but the fight is still not over. The fight that began out on the open water was now heading straight onto the coast of Somalia. The United States was bringing the battle to the enemy's own home. Could a small team of trained fighters wipe out a whole pirate network in one strike? At about 8 that morning, 3 large twin-rotor helicopters flew low along the coast of Somalia. Each one carries around 40 Navy special operators, all ready for a tough fight. They hold short rifles built for close work, with quiet rounds and night gear still strapped on from the long night. High above them, three attack helicopters circle again and again over the target. Each one has a heavy cannon with more than 1,000 explosive shells ready to fire. On the wings sit rockets that can destroy a strong armored target from many miles away. A drone far overhead watches everything, sending the picture straight to the ships out to sea and to the troops dropping into the fight. The destroyer Laboon fires the first punch. Her big gun sends round after round across the water. Each shell flies almost a full minute before hitting a fuel yard on the edge of the pirate base. The ground jumps as a massive fire rips into the sky. People in the town nearby feel their homes shake. The special operators slide down ropes and hit the ground fast. In only a few breaths, they group up and start breaking into buildings. They move from room to room with quiet shots and fast hands. The first warehouse holds rifles from China, mortars from Iran, and rockets from Russia. Piles of them, stacked like someone planned to arm an army. In another building, they cut the chains that hold 6 kidnapped sailors. They look thin and tired, but still alive. The medic starts treating them while the rest keep clearing. The special operators set explosives around the weapons and gear. They are here to wipe this place out. When the helicopters return, they pull the wounded and the former captives inside first. Then the rest climb in. Many pirates are dead. Dozens are tied and taken away. The rest run into the land with no leader to guide them. The pirate empire that took 5 long years to build is gone in less than 1 hour. The papers taken from Rahman's base showed links to government-backed groups on 3 continents. This was not just a simple pirate attack. It was a test, meant to see how far the Americans would go and how quickly they would react. Now that the smoke had lifted and the casualties were tallied, what lesson had hostile forces learned while watching quietly from the shadows? 4:30 rolls around, and the waves seem calm for the first time all day. Hard to believe this same water roared with gunfire not long ago. Smoke drifts on the breeze, and pieces of broken boats float like lost scraps from a bad dream. The big pirate strike that worried everyone is finished. It died faster than anyone expected. Dozens of buildings that once held their supplies are now nothing but black piles. Weapon crates burned down to twisted iron. Boxes of ammo that could have kept many gunmen shooting for months are gone. All that fuel they saved up just fed the fire. A small handful ran into the land with nothing but fear pushing their feet. They lost their leaders, their weapons, and every dollar they depended on. For the Americans, the hit was light. A fuel ship named Guadalupe took damage on the back but stayed useful. She still finished her job and passed her fuel to the carrier group. The mission stayed on track. 9 sailors got hurt. Cuts from glass, burns from fire, and bits of metal stuck in skin. All of them are alive, not one funeral. That says a lot about what training, good gear, and calm minds can do when everything turns loud and deadly. The larger win is the one people feel without seeing. A warning that anyone trying to strike the United States will face a fight that follows them home. No safe base, no easy escape. One flag waved the wrong way, and the hammer dropped in less than a day. There is a strange twist, though. Papers pulled from Rahman's place hint that he might not have worked alone. Money from Iran, rifles from China, quiet talks with men linked to the Houthis in Yemen. It sounds like someone bigger was watching this unfold. Taking down Rahman showed the world what the American military can do when it decides a threat must be erased. Still, it left a darker thought hanging in the air. If this whole fight was nothing more than a small tryout with fast boats and simple rocket guns, what comes next? People whispered for years that pirate attacks at sea were getting smarter, but no one wanted to say aloud that this was turning into a new kind of war. Then, a day in mid-September 2025 forced everyone to face it. These groups are not just thieves chasing ransom. They fight like trained units, backed by people with money and a plan. For a long time, Somali crews in fast boats were treated like a small problem. Patrol ships came and went. Guards stood watch on tankers. Courts tried the unlucky few who were caught. That thinking fell apart the moment American ships met Rahman's force. These were not desperate men with cheap rifles. They were trained fighters. They had leaders giving orders, weapons built to punch through armor, and supply chains that crossed borders. The American response was fast and brutal because it had to be. The goal was not just winning, it was teaching a lesson. Touch a United States ship and lose everything that keeps the group alive. Yet people studying the aftermath cannot rest easy. 100 fighters and weapons enough to pack into a warehouse. What if the next threat has thousands and real military support? Nations like China, Iran, and Russia have the tools to do that. They watch how America fights. They learn. They change their plans. The sea is wide and quiet, and somewhere out there another strike is already being prepared. America won the last fight. The worry is what comes next. What do you think? Was this just a pirate assault gone too far? Or the opening move in a much bigger game between global powers? Let's know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on global military events.